but anyways.
It's helpful.
Yes, it's better, right? The more
Yeah,
some.
plus it'll be good for that.
Yes, yeah. Hello, Ishan. Hello. I didn't get your full name, ma'am.
My name is Stephanie Heilker.
Stephanie Halger, and this is Sri Dattadev. You can call me Sri.
Okay.
So, this is my kind of second formal speech regarding my realization about life. A brief bio of myself. I came to the United States in the year 97 for my master's. I graduated in 99 with chemical engineering, and I started working as a software engineer. Even though I did my chemical, at that time everybody was jumping into software field. So I worked for a year or so, and then I started to question life. Everybody's running around. It was like a rat race. Who am I was the question. How long am I going to play this game? That was even before he came around, and these other two brothers came around. That question led me to different doorways, pathways of realization within. So I kept at it. One of my main doors of realization was science. Because everybody was taking to science. What is the universe all about? What is this matter, energy, and all. So it quelled my thirst a little bit, but not to the fullest extent. So of course, I come from a religious background, as most of us, all of us are spiritual beings, and that also, I was on the path of devotion, praying to God. I know the topic I'm deviating from the topic at hand, but I'll try to connect the dots. How I arrived at why we need to stop war and start fusion. But to understand why we need to do that, we need to understand ourselves first. That's my thing. Why am I doing this at all? Why am I speaking about making it a better place for the next generation, right? So this is because of the self-realization that I had, and as I went into spiritual path, I started to read several books on realization and several gurus as great teachers. Of course, Jesus Christ was one of the greatest, who showed us the way, meaning being altruistic, even giving up life to tell us, give us an example that, anyhow we are all going to move on from this planet. So why not do a better job when we are before leaving here? That was a message, right? But so many people misunderstood him because the natural instinct of a creature is survival. We are, as Darwinism puts it, survival of the fittest, and we are always fight or flight mode. But being human, we have the luxury, right? We have secured enough resources, but we are still in the holding mode. We're still consuming more than what is required, right? So, but if we continue on that path of just consumption, mindless consumption, we might deplete the resources. I know the universe is unlimited. There are resources abundant everywhere, but for us human beings, we are on this testing ground. It's like I call it a kindergarten or an elementary school on a spiritual path. So it's a test for us to be here and say, okay, we can take care of a small planet and we'll not waste it. And that's the test that we have to pass to ascend to the next level. But unfortunately, as we can see, we've been exploiting for all the natural resources, all the forests, and depleting the forests, mining mindlessly for we call all the silicon or whatever material we need for our computers. I don't know where we are headed with all the artificial intelligence. With the intelligence that we already have, we could easily manage the resources. What we need is proper management of resources. We don't need excess creation anymore. And honestly, there's enough to go around for everybody, but we are not willing to share. That's the problem. Yeah. So as I can see, that a human being has three aspects to him, a physicality, a mentality, and a spirituality. So the physical aspect is apparently the sensual indulgence. We want to be gratified, consume as much as we can, and of course, participate in a reproductive progeny to make sure that we continue genetically, biologically. But we give way more importance to that aspect rather than how to pass on the light to the next generation, right? Like we are more focused on making sure that we are biologically immortal, meaning like once we pass on our genes, the next generation comes into being, we feel like okay, we have done our job, but that's not enough. Because if we like teach them also all the rampant consumption, mindless consumption without thinking, they'll we'll already depleting it, and by the time a couple of generations, it will all be filled up with waste, and there will be no possible redemption. So this is an urgent need. There's an urgent need for bringing awareness to a conscious way of life. Meaning we have to. Luckily, we have as AI, we have a technology which is we can ask for a proper way of channeling our material production, right? We can have statistics which can say what products are really required. Like we go on manufacturing products which are totally unnecessary and harmful, right? Without any mindful thinking, just to gratify our senses or please our sense. We rather can say, okay, let's eliminate some of the unnecessary products, yeah, and come up with a better plan, like what is really required. Like limit ourselves in consumption. I know I'm asking for austerity here, which is not a fashionable thing, especially in the Western material world. But that's what we need to do now. The hour is on us, as we can see the climate lashing at us with several thunderstorms and wildfires. It's in the news, especially this year has been the most effective climatically, too many floods, too many wildfires, and a lot of destruction of habitats. So I think we should all take a pause and take a look at at least as individuals, right? We should say cut back on some unnecessary stuff. Like everybody as an individual can look into his daily way of life consumption. At some point in my life, I was consuming non-vegetarian food, and once I saw certain documentaries which showed the unsustainable way of farming, chicken farming and other products, eggs. Then I realized there are so many other alternatives, a sustainable way of living. So we switched to vegetarianism, keeping it minimum. We can sustain our bodies very well, and in fact, with all these antibiotics and the unhealthy way of raising the cattle and thing, the food is not healthy either. So it's not like that's providing nourishment. It's just gratifying the senses, fast food and all these things which are being rubbed on us through advertisement, and people are not spending enough time about their conscious life, right? We are eternal spiritual beings, not ephemeral human beings. So we need to take care of the planet and leave it a better place for the next generation. If I'll take a brief pause to welcome other members.
Well,
Yeah.
we were trying to look at the program. It says that there's, what's this, what is this?
I'm talking about sustenance.
Okay, did they change the program?
They allotted me this room at 5:30. I was not in the program officially, but they included me and they said I can speak here at 5:30.
Okay, so the other place that was supposed to speak here, you don't know where they're at?
No, yeah, room number 2. This is 270.
Okay.
I don't know if you're looking for that or not.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
Okay. So I know I'm not coherent, I've been jumping from my self-realization to.
You're doing fine.
Yeah. I didn't plan as much. I'm trying to be spontaneous. Coming back to the self-realization part, as I said, who am I is the question, underlying question, right? As I said, there are 3 aspects to us. The physicality. Apparently, we can all see our bodies. That's the first thing that meets our senses. You can see me, you can shake hand, you can touch, you can feel my presence through other senses, certainly. But underlying that, we also have a mentality, right? How do we know what my thoughts until I speak, right? It's the language and the medium. Once I open up my mouth and say something to you, then you start reading my mind. Oh, okay, his point of view is so and so, right? So there is a mental aspect to us as well. But beyond these 2 aspects, there is another aspect, the spiritual aspect. That aspect, just your presence here and my presence here, if we were not to speak at all, we can still feel some connection, like the underlying connection, your presence that presence is eternal, right? It's not. It's the same in you as in me. Like the I in me is the same as the I in you. So that's what I realized, that the who am I is that I. The I is taking all these forms. The consciousness is taking all different forms as you, me, and other people, just playing with itself. Ultimately, what is the goal of the consciousness is that it's playing hide and seek game. It's just hiding itself as me, like the ego and personality, and you will for some time, and it enjoying, curious. Okay, it's like, okay, what do you think of yourself? Like, so you're looking at me, the real consciousness looking at me. Okay, I can be like that too. Interesting. I like that, or maybe I don't like that. Like, so that's what it plays the game. At some point, I know there's a in the Hindu philosophy there is a Advaita Vedanta philosophy, which says that we're all one, right? Ultimately. So what that is pointing at is like it has a good analogy of dream. Like imagine yourself sleeping at night, right? You go into a dream world, you spawn a character, several characters, and you are also another one character in the dream. But when you are so much into the dream world, you really feel that the world is real, the dream world is real. So you have like 10 or 20 characters, and you are one particular character. Either you're talking, having a conversation with other people are like, making friends with them, or got into trouble with them and trying to run away from them. Sometimes we have those runaway dreams too, like nightmares, we call them. So, but how different is that from the world that we are living in? Isn't that true that when we are awake, we are consciously spawning all the people? Like, I feel that way. Like, when I go back to sleep, where am I going? When I'm in deep sleep where there are no dreams, that's where I really am. Where there is no attributes. It's a formless, nameless being, attributeless being. So that's the true nature of us. But when we get into this dream world, while dreaming, or into this world, which is another dream, but it's nothing but another dream, we are spawning all the characters. For what? What is the purpose of it all? Just for fun. So that's why it's called a game, Leela. Meaning it's a play. It's a play of God.
Lila.
Leela.
Leela.
Leela means play of God. So that's the purpose of the universe is nothing but a play. I can't imagine anything better. People, what is life for? Life is for enjoyment. Life. Life is for entertainment. Life is for enlightenment. What is enlightenment? To realize that you are the one who is playing that game. You are the one who is playing as others too. So yeah. So I went on thinking in that directions, and then I said, okay, this is all like an abstract and wonderful. Like, I can be in my La La Land, and be happy there. But coming back to this reality, in this world, I see the need to do something, to contribute something. Like, I know even though this will all go away in a few, if not 1,000 years, 100,000 years, Earth is not forever. The galaxy is not forever. But still, when the game is on, it's a game. But why not play it by the rules? Like, there's nobody governing humans right now. Like, we reached the top of the pyramid, the food structure, food chain. But we have reached there because the spirit of the God in us, let us be that. Because we are made in the image of the Creator. When I speak, there are two modes of realization. One is duality. When I speak in duality mode, I refer to God as the other, like Jesus did, like Father. But that Father, when you realize yourself, you are the Father, you are the God yourself. So your innermost being is that God too. So when would you realize that you are God? When you realize that when you're talking to God and you're talking to yourself, then you realize you are God. you say I'm praying to God, but who is that? Who's listening? Only you are listening in your inner self when you pray to God. So that self is the God. So that self in me wanted to do some good, make a change, at least make people realize to do some good, make a betterment, simple changes, not necessarily to go over and change the whole world. Change yourself in one way, one small way. Give up something which is harmful to the world, right? Whatever is harmful to the world is obviously harmful to you. We don't realize that. We consume that thinking that it's okay, it's just my body, but it's also affecting others too. Whoever is manufacturing that unharmful thing to you are doing it for profit. So that's harmful to the world too. So that way, if you let go of one of the harmful things, that would have added to sustenance of the world. So that's what we need to start fusion, like for unlimited sustenance, imitate our nature. Our nature never preserved foods in refrigerators. It didn't add any chemicals or anything. They just use it, pluck it out of the plant, eat it, and just goes into the earth. It's not meant for preserving, extending shelf life, make profit of things, right? So that's we got so much into this culture of fast food, easy food, and preserved food, which is harmful for everybody, for the planet and us. And because of the rat race that we are all in, everybody wants to run to work mindlessly without thinking why they are even working. They say, oh, we need money. It's all a mad world. So nobody is winning this race, and we are teaching the kids the same thing. And I feel sorry for that. Nobody is speaking up, saying that okay, we need to stop, we need to slow down, and think about what we are doing, right? So that's where I started to write in my social media, and I wrote a book. Anybody can derive everything from God. A B C D E F G. God means geometry of dimensions. So you are God, I am God. God means you have dimensions, right? Geometry. It's all. So we are four-dimensional creatures with a five-dimensional perception. Our fifth dimension is God, like a God realization. So yeah, in that book I explained each chapter from zeroth dimension to 10th dimension, how we can ascend. As we ascend, as we progress in the dimensionality, we are not just stopping at 4 dimensions of space and time. We can go beyond that. That's what we do in our dreams when we travel faster than light. So I was talking about mind traveling faster than light with scientists, and they say, oh, what are you talking? You are not a scientist, or but I know what I'm talking about. They now know that, of course, space expands faster than light. Space holds everything together, and light is just photons or particle, it's both particle and wave, but it travels within the space. But space itself can expand faster than light, and that's a proven, it's not a made up thing, it's a scientifically proven thing. So what is space? Your mind itself is the space-time. Your absolute self is the space-time. You are that higher dimensional being who is descending into the lower dimensions to confine yourself to a particular experience. And there are several talks by Professor Dr. Donald Hoffman. He's been propounding this concept as well recently. He's talking of higher dimensionality, where scientists have realized that there are dimensions beyond 4 dimensions or 5 dimensions, going up to infinite dimensions. We don't even know how many dimensions out there are out there. They're calling it amplitude-hadrons, like the scientific terms basically. And he says that underlying all this, what is underlying all this dimensionality? Consciousness. So your consciousness is the ultimate thing. So he's proposing that the universe is not material, it's not 4 dimensions. It is an interaction between conscious agents. So there is no matter. For that matter, I'm talking of recycling and all that. It's not recycling any matter. It's recycling your thoughts. It's way of how you project yourself into this reality and consume. So if you manufacture a product for consumption with the intention of profitability and greed, it is automatically poisonous. So I'm not saying, okay, this product is good or just because it's made of those chemicals. No, it is not made of material at all. It is made of intentionality. Intent is the only true content of reality. The reality is not made of any material. So what I'm saying is, when I say stop war and start fusion, stop intending for profit and greed. When you're altruistic, automatically anything you grow or create will be real, will be safe, because it's made out of love and pure consciousness, right? So it's definitely going to help others and the nature. It will take care of itself. But the moment the corporate mindset comes into play, the capitalism, where greed is the main underlying principle, it's like growing poison stuff. So I'm just bringing it down from the higher dimensional to the lower dimensional. But when I talk about intent being the true content of reality, people will not. But if I say, okay, these particular chemicals are not good, stop, let's not consume these animals are, I think they'll get it, but from the highest true perspective, that is the truth. The truth is the intent. So, and yeah, as you can see, I don't have slides, but I made a pyramidal structure for civilizations. Like, so you consider a civilization, like two kinds of civilizations, right? One is the successful civilizations pyramid structure, and the other one is the failing civilization structure. So the principles of failing civilizational structure is that they base themselves on virtuality, like what we are basing ourselves on, like information, like which is not real, like in a virtual base, meaning minimum spirituality. So it's all false propaganda, false agenda, and as I said, profit-oriented stuff. And their mentality is conflict and a lot of rules and like regulations, but less morals and ethics. So there is no morality and ethics. There is only place for a lot of rules and regulations. So if you need to get a product out, you pass through all those FDA and so forth. Satisfy the rules. Whether it's not even good for the environment, that doesn't matter. If it meets the bottom line of the corporates, it will be passed. Even the scientific, unfortunately, I used to think that science is an altruistic pursuit, but after seeing several papers being published, which are promoting products which are not really good, just because they are being lobbied by the corporates which manufacture those products, they're producing papers which are falsifying the truth. And you can see those examples when the cigarettes were initially introduced. They were popularized and everybody can smoke anywhere they want. Till, yes, exactly. Anytime you can smoke anywhere. But and it takes enough number of people to get cancer or suffer and die. And then they say, oh, no, we need to roll back. And then they come up with another product called e-juul or like vaping. Like as a replacement, and it's much more dangerous and it's more addictive to the kids because it's a profit driven. As I said, the intent behind is to make a lot of people addicted. It's not the point to ease their stress or anything. There's so many other. There is breathing, meditation. You don't need to spend even a dime to feel good about yourself. All you need to do is sit in a place and just take a deep breath, and you're already that. Why are we not teaching the kids this truth? All that you need to feel good about yourself is take a deep breath. You don't need anything else. And have a sip of water, pure water. You don't need Coke. You don't need vapor or anything. So yeah, so that's what is going on, and it not only degrades individuals, it degrades the society, like the family structure. Like because of this addiction, people fall apart. They get addicted. Alcoholics, of course, families fall apart, and like a lot of divorces, and one generations who go through those painful episodes are also it continues a vicious cycle, which is with a bottomless pit, as Jesus said, right? We are all falling in a bottomless pit, like where the devil is another conscious agent, but the worst one. Jesus, if you can consider Jesus or all the gurus, great real altruistic teachers, they are also conscious agents. So we are all different conscious agents with different levels of mentality. So the ultimate good one is God, who really cares and loves for all of us, and all that He wants, or she wants, or it wants, is like safety and health and good long life, right? But there are agents, as I said, it's a game, right? And the game, the good agents and the bad agents. And it seems like that our earth is taken over by the bad agents, call it Satan or we call it Antichrist or whatever, and that's becoming predominant. Another topic that I see in recently going up, which is of a great concern to me, is the promotion of unsafe. My son is here; he's too young to hear this, but promoting like a prideful month, where it's not needed. Yes, sexuality is something personal, and it needs to be imbibed into children when they are of enough maturity. There's no need for children under the age of 12 or 15 to even talk about those things. We have done such a great job of driving God out of school and bringing in the devil. I'll say this. We are not supposed to talk about, it doesn't matter whether it's Bible or Jesus or any other religion. There is no more room for spirituality or religion in the system. And what happens when something good goes out of thing? There's a room, right? There's a void left, and who fills it? Somebody has to fill it, and of course the Satan creeps in. And I've seen so many videos on how horrific it is for young children going through this, like cultural trauma. They've been taught so many unnecessary things, and they're being confused. As first, they're trying to adjust into their physicality. Like they're given a body, they're just trying to realize, okay, we just arrived on a planet, which seems to be good, but also hostile. Like like because of, as I said, several addictions of these products, it causes dysfunctional families, so they don't get enough love. So they're drawn within, they're losing their mentality. So they are seeing examples of all, self-indulgent families, and that causes a lot of stress. And I understand their side too, so they are trying to explore sensuality, because something, right? When you are stressed, you need something to soothe you. It's either food, fast food, which is harmful, whatever those burgers, unhealthy stuff, or sodas, or sensuality. You're cuddling with somebody, not realizing at what age you are supposed to be indulging, and to how safely or how not, and also confusing them with saying that, okay, you can be more than one gender. What is that? That's like the most damaging thing that we are doing to our next generation. Why can't we draw the line and say, okay, let's kids be kids, let's not confuse them, let's bring God back into schools, talk about the purity of the soul, and so let's fix our mentality, and that will automatically fix our physicality. And coming back to the mentality aspect, the grown-ups are not good either. They are fighting in the name of religion. What is the religion, right? We are trying to seek the truth of who we are. So we ascribe all the good features to abstract entity, and we call it God. And we call God by different names in different religions. And we fight for the languages that we use. That's the only thing the difference is the only language. It doesn't matter what you call, water is water, or Niru in my language, native language, Pani in another Hindi language, it could be called something else, Jolo in French. But it's just water. If I say what you said is not water, and I fight with you, even though the content is right in front of your eyes, that is foolishness. That's another aspect of our mentality that's degrading the humanity. So that's what we need to stop war on different fronts. Not only resources, stop wasting away religions, war. I just made it up. So we are wasting away several things, like in our physicality, our mentality. This can all change if we can start to go within, sit quietly with ourselves. Why are we here? I know we are here. I know that we are here. There's no denying that. I am here, you are here. But why are we here? So are we here just to gratify our senses briefly and move on? Are we to do something better? Like if you are a single person and you had no relations, and you had all the money in the world, and you are going on a rampage of self-intelligence, I can understand. Okay, this guy has no love in his heart or whatever. But if you even have one relation, one family member, one friend, you should start thinking, okay, there could be other members who can come onto this planet when I'm gone, right? What did I do, or what did I say that made this place a better place for them? That's all my effort is. I wanted to speak out. I couldn't keep it to myself. I am a software engineer making money. I could have been like any other guy watching football games or movies or whatnot. I do that too. I'm not saying that I don't watch it, but I try to keep it to the minimum, because I want to use my time more effectively. Make it a more impactful life rather than just self-indulgent. We are habituated in self-indulgence. There's no denying that. Unfortunately, that's become the norm motto. But at least if everybody starts to contribute few moments of their life to think deeper, feel deeper, like connect with some at least few people who they come in contact with and share what they really feel. That might make a change and impact. It's like if I share this with two people and those two people went ahead and shared with two more, it's a geometric progression. 2 to the power of 10 is almost like $1 billion. I mean to say if you take $2 and you raise it to 10, it's almost a million people. So that's what we need to do. Share it with two people and ask them to share whatever we hear good with two more people. Good people cannot keep quiet to win this war against the evil. The problem with all people I see, majority of people are good, but silence is their weakness. They say silence is good for meditation, but not when the world is falling apart. You need to speak up. You cannot be silent. You need to raise the voice. You need to stand up. You need to stand with God, right? As Jesus said, stand with truth. Don't let your God. Yeah, they will persecute you. If you go against the corporates, or say, okay, be minimalistic, don't consume, don't be prideful, just enjoy to explore with your sensuality. And if you stand up and say, no, please don't bring this to my school where my kid is, they will fight you. That's okay. We need to stand up. Yeah, and I'm going to stand up on that. So I've been telling my kids, at least if not you and my son are listening to me and the precious lady there. So hopefully you guys will stand up to the truth when the time comes. Speak up. You are God too. You're not just a human being. You are an eternal spiritual being. Yeah, yes, and you raise your whatever truth you see. Speak up and tell the truth. Share the truth. Yeah, and as I said, make a small change which will benefit the planet. Something you feel like is really unnecessary for your body or for the earth. That's my takeaway from so far. I started. I'll try to speak as long as I can, do how many hours I can, but I started. So that's my intention. So here, if you want to say something, we can talk one-on-one. Yes. If you want to share your insights, that would be great too. If you want to come up and I can speak, that's okay. You should definitely. We all have something to say. I'm not the only one. You are the one too.
Oh no, I don't need to come up and stand behind the mic. But thank you for sharing today, and you're speaking a lot of things that resonate with me. That I feel are not just your truth, but also maybe universal truth.
Yes.
So. Yeah, thank you for your time. I'm curious though a little bit more about the fusion part of it. Like what, particularly that word fusion, what does that mean for you?
Yes.
And how do you go from war to fusion?
Yes. So for unlimited sustenance, imitate our nature. So Mother Nature is trying to teach us ways of how to efficiently recycle, right? Like biodegradable products, for example. We can be more conscious of not using plastics bags or and also coming to the point of carbon footprint. I saw some documentaries where I realized that the most carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is because of beef, the farming. So why can't we avoid eating beef, right? Red meat. We don't need that kind of energy,
I'm vegan since 2011.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. So you see the point, right? Like we can sustain ourselves. You look wonderful and healthy,
Yeah. Much different from before too.
Yes, and you feel more lively. If you consume more plant-based food, you automatically feel lively. I know it's fast digesting and you burn out the energy faster instead of the slow release of metabolism. Like if you eat a high content protein, it takes a longer time to digest, and that's why you feel full for a longer period of time. But plant-based food makes you livelier and it digests faster too. It's healthy, right? So if we cut down on this beef production, consumption, it's in our hands. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, consumer is God. That's really true. We are gods. So we can decide what is manufactured and what is rubbed on us. But if you are blindly consuming, yeah, we might say, okay, that's bad, this is bad. But if we are not changing our way, they will keep selling the products that we don't need. So yeah, that's, and also whenever we buy something for our household or something, we need to put a little more effort on trying to make it a conscious product, like that we are getting in, like a little more sustainable. That's what I'd say regarding the fusion part of it. I know we are not all there yet, but at least the baby steps, and somewhere, hopefully we'll get there. If not, if we don't do that, nature will make us do that. So all it takes is a severe climate, see, as you can see recently, flooding in Vermont, a lot of cities in India. We will be, there's an easy way out or a hard way out, so it's our choice now. And it's speeding up, yeah.
So the fusion beginning with kind of the self-realization,
Yes.
that part of the journey.
Yes. So yeah, self-realization first is that I am not just here as this human being for a brief moment of time. I am an eternal being, so are you. We are that, but we put on this mask of physicality and mentality. Underlying the spirituality is there, but we want to sustain the physical too. We want this game to go on for a longer period of time than the way we are. We don't want it to be wrapped up soon, right? As eternal beings, why would, okay, if it's just a game, why not let's just rampantly consume and do whatever we want and just wrap it up, no more human beings after us. Would you like that? Would you like that? Yeah. So that's what is going on. In 100 years, we put out so much carbon dioxide, and so many, oceans are full of dirt, and the whale farming and whatnot. There's a documentary called Seaspiracy that says that 40% of the oceanic life has been extinct. Imagine in 50 years. In 50 years,
Yeah.
humans have come. In the whale farming, they throw nets to catch certain kind of fish, but in those nets, other fishes which are not intended to be caught are caught, like sharks. But it's a biological sphere is it's not an individual organism, right? It's a linked system. So you take away one thing from the whole system, it automatically collapses the system. If you're not mindful of, you might say, okay, mosquitoes cause malaria, let's destroy all of them, right? There might be some other side effect of that, which we don't know. We are not holistic creatures yet. We are always thinking in a narrow band. We are our intelligence is a discriminatory tool. It's a radar. Consciousness is a spherical light which is all directional, omnidirections. It's visualizes the entire thing. But intelligence, on the other hand, it's focused. It's like a torchlight. You put your direction, give it direction, and look at that thing. But when you're looking at one particular thing, you miss out on the bigger things, and you just going in the direction, you miss out the bigger picture. You're going about consuming, just thinking of only one-way profits. Okay, I sell this product for so long and make enough for my family and for my next generations. I don't even see the point of why billionaires are still at it. When they have, I don't even know what's the point of it. How much, there should be a cap. I might sound like a socialist or a communist. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What does this number mean anyways? If you're not going to use it anyways, and you just say it's somewhere in there, and you not let others use the resources. It's
just imaginary, really.
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
point.
It's a kind of mental perversion, which is promoted very well, and unfortunately, we think that is success. And we are training our kids, I see my kids being trained for essay writing, for getting college admissions. You need to promote yourself as an individual rather than universalist, spiritualist, altruistic, and say, okay, how we can be more cooperative instead of competitive, right? Cooperation is the key word, not competition. Competition is, healthy competition a little bit is okay, but blind, selfish, endless greed competition is no good. There has to be balances and checks, right? These monopolies, all the companies growing into huge behemoths, right? They control everything, like Amazon or I don't want to take names, but you get the idea. There are no more mom and pops or like small shops or it's a consolidating and trying to become huge, so huge they can govern our life. And I'm a software engineer, so I know the latest technologies. I work in cloud computing, like artificial intelligence, the GPTs, generative pre-trained transformers, as they call it. And I wrote a grade called God GPT.
Oh, yeah?
God GPT is greater than any GPT. So God has to let us be more sensible, right? Oh, this is the supreme almighty intelligence. That's what I call God. Out of that intelligence, we gain a bit of it in this ephemeral human form. Just call it like a diluted version of it, and we feel so egoistic and proudful that we can control others with that little bit of intelligence. If you think of that, that's why it's called Brahman, meaning vast in Vedic. Means unlimited. That intelligence is unlimited. It's formless because it doesn't need to be in any particular form. But we as human beings, we have taken a form, so we try to use up that intelligence for selfish purposes because that's what we've been taught, that you are here, you are in this body, you need to take care of it. But we should let go of that physicality a little bit and enjoy our spirituality more. As and when more of us do that, naturally we'll become altruistic.
That's how we move towards fusion.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Thank you for trying to connect the dots back. I know I'm trying to shift away from the main focus line, but yes, fusion is that. Fusion is fusing with yourself. Yeah, and in that fusion, you'll sustain the whole creation. Yes, you are generator, organizer, and destroyer. So I'm stressing on the organization part of it.
Yeah.
Right now, we are going in the destruction mode. Let's tune back a little
yeah,
bit.
G-O-D.
Yeah.
Generator, organizer, and destroyer. I never
Yeah.
thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are all God. And I'm just going to just check on the time. Hope 5:15.
6:15.
6:15. Okay, I think I covered a lot.
Yeah, you
I
did.
covered a lot of topics.
You did.
So as I said, and besides the fusion and power I call it. I make acronyms as you know. People of world enforcing reforms. That is power. Like power is with us. Like we can enforce reform. Also there is power on bad side also. People of wickedness, like engaging in rebellion, like rebelling against God. That's also power, but it's the power of Satan. So which side of the power you want to be? That's a choice we need to make. So why? There was a question, right? You say God, you say He's the supreme almighty intelligence. Then why is there any evil at all in the world? That could be a basic question, right? Oh, if He's omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient, why can't He just let that? The answer for that is free will. God started the game and gave all creatures free will. And with your free will, you can choose either to become God or rebel against God and become the Satan. It's a choice. It's a choice. You can be the Christ or the Antichrist. The choice is yours. So there's not as simple as that. You are the Christ yourself when you are altruistic. When you are the Antichrist yourself when you are selfish. So these realms, these conscious agents are not beyond you. It's you as a conscious agent. You can ascend to the highest level and say, I am that. Which several realized people in India, from India, Ramana Maharshi, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, those people have transcended the material world. Jesus Christ, Shirdi Sai Baba, all these gurus, they really transcended it. Not just like verbally, they really feel it. They are in that, they abide in that moment, in that truth. And every one of us can abide in that truth, include you, me. But it takes training, like your determination to connect. That is yoga. Like you want to connect, that's you. But it's a choice. You have to tell yourself, oh, I don't want to be selfish. I want to be the altruist.
Which is hard when we've all been taught to be selfish, like you're saying about your kids and individualism.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we
operating within that larger construct.
Yes. So we have to shift from individuality to universality. So when you start ascending, like as I said, like he's recording, so I'll turn around briefly and I'll talk. So if you can, as you can see, my T-shirt has chakras, Kundalini chakras.
Uh-huh.
So humans have ascended to the 3.5 levels. Like out of 8 chakras, the first chakra is a 0 dimension.
Uh-huh.
The 8th chakra is a 5 dimension plus, where is singularity of universal life. The soul exists. You are that soul actually, but you have descended. You are God's own descendant. God again. You are God again. But you can continue. You can go back to your true self. With some practice. So individuality is at 4.5, like heart chakra, half of heart, human heart, half of it is, it can be materialistic and half can be oriented towards spirituality. But majority of our human brothers and sisters have risen to material level, like individuality. And if you can manage yourself well, that's okay. But you're consumed by that, right? If you're not aware of your true self, that can make you fall back into lower dimensions. I can give you a simple example of how someone can fall back into lower dimension. Let's say you take alcohol, consume alcohol or something. What happens? First you lose track of time. You lost a dimension out of 4. Then you can't even walk in a straight path. Like I'm telling whoever is drunk. So he's losing the dimensionality. And finally he falls into sedation, like depressed, like sleep level, where he has no consciousness. Like we say he's unconscious. What does it mean? He's become a 0 dimensional being. Joyless, lifeless being. But when you ascend, you can go beyond 4 dimensions. And it's called Ajna Chakra, where you can not only see your past, you can feel the present and see the future too. That's time, right? Time is what? Till I mind exists. T-I-M-E. If I don't mind, it doesn't exist. You can see all the future, past and present. And you can continue the highest level, which is singularity. That's called the event horizon, according to science. Black hole, but I call it a light hole, W-H-O-L-E. The whole light exists there. So that's what we are. We are actually God. We have descended and we have become, that's why I say we are all made in the image of God. God's own descendants. That's what we truly are. It's time for us to ascend back and do the fusion, the yoga. So that's what we need to do.
Those are great in acronyms.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll try to email you all my content.
Please, yeah, I'd like to read that.
If you're on Facebook, you can connect with me. You can search up my name. I'll be in touch with you. So
Okay.
yeah. So any more questions? How about you share something interesting?
Share something interesting. That's a really broad.
I know you're joyful, happy, being
How
so.
am I joyful or happy?
Yeah.
Probably because I descended, like you were saying,
Yes.
back into that 0 dimension.
Okay.
Like I had an experience of going there.
Okay.
And yet I did not die.
Oh, okay.
And
Interesting. Okay.
so that shifted my perspective quite a bit. And so I've started to, kind of climb again, back up through and put my intention and attention back on those things that are life-giving. So, but probably, yeah, why am I so joyful now? Because I was at a time where there was seemingly no joy.
Okay.
Seemingly no life.
Yes.
But so it shifted my perspective a bit.
You are the real example of the diagram that I made, like people falling back.
Yeah, and I mean that too because just a few years ago, from the physical standpoint, like I was in very, very poor health, on lots and lots of medications, and had to use canes and walkers, but some of those medications were depressants like opioids and benzodiazepams and all those kind of things. So really, when you just did that description now of with the alcohol and everything, that's really it. So I had that experience of going to the 0 and living there in that 0 for a little while.
The void,
Yeah. So it shifted my perspective, and I started to think more about what's essential versus what is available.
That's right. Perfect framing. Yes,
Yeah.
that's the right words.
Yeah,
Yes.
what's essential versus what is available.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I've continued along that path. And the more I listen to that authentic voice,
Yes.
the more alive I've become, and I am, and that's why I'm here, like physically here in this room today, but here at the Parliament of World Religions.
Yes, yes.
And, yeah.
Great, I'm really joyful. I think I'm happy that I met you in person.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you lit me up and I lit you up.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's all it matters. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really good. Yeah, I think yes, please continue your ascension, and you are the infinite being. You are not only a zero-dimensional being. If you can be the zero-dimensional being if you choose to. It's all your choice.
It's
You
not
are the
fun
infinite being. It's
there.
not fun there. Exactly.
It's really not. I mean,
Yes.
society would have you believe it's a fun place to
Yes.
be, but
Exactly. Yes, it's not. It's dark. It's darkness, right? It's darkness versus light.
empty.
So it's empty. The science is taking us. All the chemicals, all the drugs are taking us towards that emptiness. They want to pull the spirit out of you and use it for their benefit. Like that's the corporate agenda.
Yeah.
They want your spirit to work for them.
Yeah.
They want slavery. They don't want freedom. They say like you are free, do whatever you want, but that's not the truth. All the things that they're like saying are taking you to the zero dimension, like unconscious. But yes, spirituality, all the talks, that true people, like trying heart to heart connection, like will elevate you, will lift you up. And yes, I can see it. You're there. You're already there. You're joyful. So be happy, smiling, and be loving. So it's all good. And yeah, share your experience with others, and that definitely
Well,
will help.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for inviting and being
Yeah.
here today and
Yes,
sharing
thank you.
your journey. I'm definitely going to read more and
Yes, thank you.
look
My
you up.
pleasure.
I'm curious to see how this will evolve
Yeah.
for you and the people around you.
Yes, sure. I hope to do some good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Okay, don't stop recording. I need to record you. You are the great person. Come here. Just you can keep the phone like that. We both will stand together. Yeah, you can just don't have to do anything. It's already recording. So.
Okay.
This is my little one. He's been so patient today and helping me. My apprentice, right? God's own descendant, right? Ishan, thank you. You want to say something? You want to say something? Say whatever. Sing a song. He's a great singer too. All right, thank you so much.